Welcome back to Whitt Acres. Today we are down here by the vegetable garden fence line because we're going to be creating my cut flower garden bed. I put this garden bed in because this year I put in a fence around the garden and I wanted this fence to kind of stand out, and I didn't want the dogs running straight through the fence because I felt like it was kind of invisible just being chicken wire. So I wanted to put a little garden bed stretching along, and I called it the sun border. And I just plugged in a bunch of sun-loving colorful plants, from sunflowers to zinnias to Shasta daisies, echinacea, going through here. So there are some perennials that are going to be staying, but I need to clean up all the annuals that are in there so that I can get a clean slate and start building my cut flower garden bed. So my idea is to frame out this 100-foot row of garden bed along the fence line here with the fencing boards that I took down out of the fence from the front. I probably have enough boards to make the whole stretch. I'm going to use some of the wood that I have in the shed to make small stakes to hold up the bed as it goes through. I'm going to pound them into the ground, frame it out with the fence wood, and then fill it up with a nice compost layer. So the row is about 100 feet that I can plant all sun-loving plants going down. I want to try and frame it out, make it easier to maintain, and get a lot more soil in there because this is just a ground garden. I laid cardboard down first and then put compost all over it, so I don't have anything protecting the edge from the creeping Charlie and anything else that starts running into the fresh compost. Oh buddy, you ready to make a garden? And now that you know the plan, we can get started. It might take more than today to get this done, but it will be in this video, so stick around. What'd you find? Another mole puppy. Good job, boy. You're doing good. Echo Pup's been working on getting the moles out of this area, and I've been getting all the weeds and the dead annuals out. It's looking a lot nicer now with the weeds coming out of it. That creeping Charlie has been terrible going across there. My hands are pretty much tired from pulling all these weeds out. I did leave all the echinacea, the Shasta daisy, the artichokes, all these sunflowers because I couldn't pull those out by hand. And that's pretty much it. We do have the purple hyacinth bean vine still on there just because it's weaved all the way through that chicken wire. I'll probably let that freeze and it'll get all crisp and I'll be able to snap them off a lot easier. We do have one echinacea throwing off a bloom this late. Nice little purple one. We were supposed to get a lot of rain tomorrow and it's been really dry. So I want to try and get as much of this done today as I can. So I'm going to get the weed whacker out and go along the outside edge between the garden and the yard and get that trimmed down. And then I'm going to pick up all this debris and get that thrown out to the compost.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me were meant to be outdoors, forever free. You and me, meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Echo pop on guard because we have a hawk lingering up in the maple tree right there. Probably looking at all my chickens and my ducks out there. Mumbles, be on guard out there. Good boy, puppy. Hawk took off and Echo took off. Good boy, puppy. And it is a few days later. We actually had some cold weather recently, so we are down into the 30s right now. So today I want to take the spray paint and I'm going to outline how big the garden bed's going to be. I want a nice straight line going along the garden here, so it has to be parallel with the fence. So I'm going to measure off from this corner 4 feet. I think I did 3 feet already, but I'm going to make it a hair bigger. So I'm going to do 4 feet off this corner and then off of each post. And the posts are set at 12 feet apart, so that'll give me a nice line going down the garden here that I'll be able to set my boards along. I'm going to be using the same system I used up at the duck pen for their stone pit. So I'm going to be cutting some 2x2s into stakes, pounding them into the ground here, and then screwing my fence boards that I saved from an old fence into the stakes, and then I'll be filling it up with the compost again. It's looking a lot nicer out here now that it's all cleaned up, and I think once I get the straight edge with the wood, it's going to look a lot nicer. I am going to clean up the yard, so once I do get this sprayed and framed out, I'll probably cut all that grass out of there before I fill it in with the compost. So that is that, and I'm going to be cutting out a decent amount of grass going down this line. We actually got some snow the other day, so it was a good thing that I got the ducks moved into the barn, so they're not outside in their tiny house in the pen anymore. They're in the barn so that their pen can recover for next year and actually grow some grass. So they'll be in the barn with the chickens now, hopefully staying a little bit warmer than they would out in that little tiny house. So once me and Echo finish the cut flower garden out here, we're coming into the vegetable garden and we're going to be putting the raised beds to bed for the winter. I'm going to harvest everything I can out of there, let the animals eat up, throw the rest in the compost. And I also got a big pile of leaves that I raked up and brought down here to help put the beds away for the winter. I also have a pile of sand here and some compost that I'm going to be spreading out in the pumpkin patch, trying to make it a little bit nicer for next year. So there's a few videos we're going to be making here down by the vegetable garden, so make sure you stick around for all of them. Finally got some nice weather, tipping into the 50s now, so I can get back to work on this cut flower bed. Now that I have all my fence boards laid out going down the line of the bed, I'm going to use these stakes that I made out of 2x2s. I just cut in half on a 45. You can see I'm going to use these and I'm just going to pound them in like a wooden stake that it is. And that's what's going to hold up the bed going all the way down. I have 2 for each board, so hopefully I can pound them in all straight and I'll have a nice straight edge going all the way down. So I figured out after the first one, if you make stakes like this, cutting them on a 45 and then pounding them in, you have to start them on a 45. So if you want them straight, you have to start them on a 45 because that 45 is going to guide the post going down in. Now that I got all the stakes pounded in, my hand is exhausted, so if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button for me. I'm now going to screw in all the boards to the post. I have 2.5-inch screws, which Should be just about perfect. I'll probably put in 2 screws per stake, so 4 per board, and go down the line. I think the line worked out pretty good. It's not perfectly straight, but we'll see how good it is once I get it all tightened up. Looks a lot lighter on camera than it is out here. It got pretty dark on me quick and it's getting cold out here. But I got it all laid out and screwed in, so we'll check on it tomorrow and finish up. I still got to go close up the barn, so I'm done for this evening. We'll pick it up tomorrow. Always find a way to hurt myself. I got stabbed right in my finger. So here at the beginning of the bed, I started to edge out the yard with a flat shovel, and whenever you do that, you get large pieces of sod that you just flip over, and then you can put your compost and plant right over top of them. But that takes a lot of work, so I stopped doing that about 1/3 of the way, and I just laid down some cardboard. We just got some new appliances, so we had some nice big pieces of cardboard I was able to cut up and lay across the fresh grass. And that right there is the new cut flower bed going down along the vegetable garden. So I think it turned out pretty well. I like the look of it with the old wood face that we had from an old fence that I took down here on property. So just reusing the wood. It's gonna give me a ton of space to grow some cut flowers for next year, as well as some other perennials in here. Then I do have plans to do a larger transplant of a tree, 2 mature shrubs, and I have to move that rose to get them in there. But that'll be another video. Today I am also working on the inside of the vegetable garden, getting the raised beds put away for winter. So if you like gardening videos, make sure you stick around because there's another one coming. But that is all for this one. It took many days to get this done, but we finally got it completed and it is sitting pretty ready for winter. And then in the spring I'll top it off with some more mushroom compost so it's nice and even, has a good 4 to 6 inches of compost in there, and it'll be nice healthy soil for all the flowers to be growing in. You can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching. Where'd he go?